Hi everybody, it's Kimberly Arya here, the creator of the Astro Oracle and other decks from the Intuit Oracle family of cards, such as the Intuit Oracle, Zodiac 108, Intuit Tarot, and many more. And today I'm going to take a deeper look into how to use the Astro Oracle to create an in-depth astrology reading. Now, a lot of people have reached out to us for this information, and even though I did put instructions in the back of the book that is included in the Astro Persona Toolkit, the instructions are sometimes hard to follow unless you kind of have maybe step-by-step and visual form. So what I'm basically going to do is create a video so that you can follow along, and it'll be showing you how to set up the astrology reading with the Astro Persona Oracle using all of the items that are in the toolkit, as well as how to do an astrology reading without the toolkit, because you can do it either way. Now, if you are a card reader and you're more interested in using the Astro Persona just for your card readings, please check out these other videos here where you're not diving into astrology as much as using the deck to just see who shows up in your reading and how they might present themselves. There's truly nothing like the Astro Persona deck anywhere on the market. If you have this deck in your collection, whether you're a card reader or an astrologer, I think you're going to have a very interesting and unusual tool that most people don't have to really take your readings up to another level. All right, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do a reading with the Astro Persona using the tabletop cloth, but I'm also going to show you how you can do it without the tabletop cloth because it's really quite similar. The main thing that you'll be missing without the tabletop cloth is the ability to interact with all of this information that shows you where to place the cards. We'll get into that in a minute here, but let's just go ahead and start with the first thing, which would be somebody's chart. And I'm going to use my own chart here. This is a screenshot from my app. If I were to click on this, it would also show me the exact degrees as long as I know the time and place of birth. And with the cards that you would place, so I would go through my deck and get Sun in Scorpio, Moon in Pisces, Mercury in Sagittarius, and so on, and pull all of those cards. So let's just go ahead and take a look at those. And that's what I have here. Okay, so this is the Zodiac placement group. That would be the one that matches up with my list right here. And again, you can see how you could lay these all out. You could put them all in a row, however you want to do this. This is just laid out according to that we'll look at in a minute. So that would be the zodiac sign placements. And then you could, by going in and either looking at your astrology wheel or going in and looking at the exact information that you might have on a list somewhere, you can pull all of the cards for the house placements. And that would be a second layer of meaning for everything. And I'm going to get into that in just a minute, but let me go ahead and turn those off for now because we are just going to take a look at each one of these. Now, I do want to go ahead and move toward using the tabletop cloth because this is where it really gets interesting. And I'm going to show you how you can interact with the information on it in order to get more insights and understanding into a person's astrology chart. So the first thing I want to do is take a closer look and just demonstrate to you how you would go and back and forth into this information and see how you would utilize it. So the ascendant description here talks about how the rising sign or ascendant sets the themes that will be present throughout your life, and it also establishes the chart ruler. And for me, because my rising is 21 degrees Leo, Leo is ruled by the sun. And so the sun is my chart ruler. And the reason that becomes relevant is that it will have a marked influence on every aspect of your entire life, which of course is represented in your entire zodiac chart. And so this, for me, the sun and the themes of the sun, which I can find the themes of the sun right here. So if you were, for example, if your ruler was Jupiter, you would look at this as an overarching theme for your chart that is going to influence everything. For me, it's the sun. So let's just take a look at that. So the sun has to do with personal identity. It has to do with the self. It's the container which holds our spirit and the vital life force. It's the epicenter of our creation, and the house and sign will signify where the soul chooses the highest expression of self-actualization. So for me, because the sun is the ruler of my chart based on where my ascendant is, that's going to be an overarching theme that ties all of this together for me is about personal self-identity and self-actualization in this lifetime. I personally look to astrology mostly for the benefits that come from understanding who you are in the terms of soul evolution, and that you basically chose as an individual to have this particular framework or setup to dictate which are going to be the certain themes of your life that are going to be happening in different areas of your life based on your zodiac signs. And I find it to be incredibly accurate. And because it has such an influence on us and our personality and growth development, I also feel like that's one reason it has such a strong ability to show who we are as a person, like it's a personality profile, for example. So what I would do is I would go through all of these cards and really take time to look at the information underneath and then read the information on that card and think about it for yourself. Read the little, sometimes this is advice, sometimes just, some words of wisdom, and or some, to get some other deeper understanding. You also could open up the book and read the section in the book. So if you're just really sitting down and wanting to understand yourself better, you could take a lot of time with this using the book along with the charts and the tabletop cloth here as well. I am going to go through this very quickly though, just so we can help you get the idea of how to set this up and then how to interact with it. So the moon, for example, is that area that was who we are on the very deepest level, and it indicates that part of ourself that everything springs from. And it also is the foundation of ego development that's connected to our karmic past, lineage, and the womb space. So kind of like where you came from. And I do think it's interesting because I, for myself, feel like my moon, sometimes I feel a lot more like I identify with the Pisces moon side of myself than the Scorpio sun, for example. And I don't know if that's the case for everyone, but for me, because maybe it's, you think of yourself from that very personal perspective, which is your emotions, and the moon is reflective of our emotions. That's why I find it to be a very strong indicator of myself and my identity. So that would be something you could, delve into deeper. Another thing you might even want to do is do some journaling along the way with all of this. In fact, this person is sitting there with the book. Looks like she's journaling. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at, this is the one card. I want to take this off for right now. We'll go into that in a few minutes. This is more to do with the evolutionary astrology aspect, Pluto polarity. I do want to go ahead and take a look at what it would look like if you pulled all of your house placements as well. So that would be if you know the exact time and place of birth. And for, obviously I know mine. And so for my Scorpio, see here's Scorpio right here. So mine is right here in 23 degrees Scorpio. So I'm right here. I'm right on the cusp of my fourth house, exactly where my sun would be. It's about almost 0 degrees fourth house in Cancer, 0 degrees Cancer. So I would pull the Cancer card for my house placement of my sun. My moon is in my 8th house, Scorpio. My Mercury is in my 4th house, Cancer, and so on. Now, I am not an astrologer. I won't even try to stylize myself as one. I'm very interested in the subject. I know a fair amount about it because I have done a fair bit of research with it. But if you're an astrologer, your astrologer will go into even more in depth about the difference between zodiac placement and house placement and where that impacts your life. I don't remember that off the top of my head. It's something you could look up, but there are some differences there. But I know for me, I feel like it just adds a second layer of meaning. So it might be really obvious to somebody, like, well, my birthday's in November, so that I'm a Scorpio. But what might be less obvious is that in a lot of ways, I actually feel sometimes that this sun in Cancer or my 4th house is just as much a part of who I am as the sun in Scorpio as far as personality, given the fact that the sun is the placement of, personal identity and self-actualization. So that would just be just a really, just kind of a quick way of looking at the difference between house and zodiac sign placements, it's another layer of understanding and meaning. Like, for example, I think it's really interesting that my Jupiter is in my 5th house, Leo, because Jupiter is all about expansion. So my Jupiter is in Capricorn, which is also kind of handy because my north and south nodes, we'll get to that in a minute, is my north node is in Capricorn. So in my chart, I have support from Jupiter because Jupiter is the expansive. It represents expansion, growth, hope, wisdom, faith, luck, belief systems, intuition, rules, philosophy, and the search for higher truth. Its placement is where we will find our natural gifts and innate knowing without even knowing how we know. And because the house placement for me is Leo, and Leo has so much to do with creativity, and this, I'm a very, very creative person, very expressive person. And so that's kind of like that hidden layer. This is why I'm getting back to this with house placements, because it's like a kind of almost a hidden layer of understanding yourself more. And it's also really cool for me that Jupiter is in my 10th house, which is the direction I'm headed in my north node. We'll get to that in a minute. And then I have this really creative, spark of support with that from the sun, which again ties back to my Leo rising, which is the ruler of my chart. So I have a lot of strength here with Jupiter support for my north node, which again, we'll get to that in a minute. So just a lot of really cool cross references. Everything is so connected in your chart, and you could be an astrologer who studied the topic for years and still, not even get to like all the depths that there are in astrology. So that's why, even though I know a fair amount about it, I still feel like I'm just scratching the surface with all of this. However, this tool really does help you dive deeper into it. All right. I do want to get over here to Pluto polarity, which is very unique to evolutionary astrology. Pluto is of almost the utmost importance of all of the planets, all of the outer, Uranus and Neptune also, but especially Pluto. And you can read more about that in the book. I'm not going to go into that here, but it is viewed that the Pluto polarity point is the area of life that your soul has described for itself, or as maybe kind of like a, like your north, your true north is like where your compass is pointing in life to get you to grow towards, to an area of true soul evolution. And for me, my Pluto polarity point would be, well, for everyone, it's the house and zodiac sign that are 180 degrees opposite of where your actual Pluto is. So the quickest and easiest way to figure that out, if you can't do it in your head, which I'm not the best at, so my Pluto is in Libra. Where is my Libra? Here. So my Pluto is here, and then straight across from that would be Aries. So that's the 180 degrees, Aries and Pluto, and which is really interesting because I do feel like this has been a theme of my life. I find myself doing exactly this: exploration of the freedom of self, a thirst for freedom and self-discovery makes long-term partnerships hard for you to maintain, which has been very true, but relationships bring an important insight and true reflection of yourself. So, and it is very interesting because we see this as an actual opposite to Pluto in Libra, which is all about relationships. Well, Aries is all about I am and myself, but there's still a strong connection between the two. And again, this is the area of my life that I'm being magnetically drawn to create experiences for myself that are going to challenge me in this area. And so I think that's super interesting. Now, the other one would be for me is the Pluto in my house. So my Pluto is in my 2nd house, which is Taurus. And it's helping me focus on self-sufficiency, which has totally been the case. And I've had so many challenges in my life that are about becoming self-sufficient. And then the opposite of that would be Taurus. Opposite of Taurus would be Scorpio. Again, you can see that by looking at the chart here. The opposite of Taurus is Scorpio. So that would be this area here. And so another area of challenge that my soul is pushing me to growth is to merge with others for soul evolution. In other words, not just doing it on my own, which is like what's happening here, interestingly. And It's to grow into something beyond yourself and to plumb the depths of the human experience through many intense emotional experiences. And that is exactly what has been happening in my life. So whether I understood this or not, this was happening. And then I think it's so interesting to get into astrology and then discover these connections. Now let's talk really quickly about the North and South Node, which is a card that will be reversible. It is reversible because the North and South nodes go together. They're 180 degrees opposite of each other. The North Node and the Pluto are very important in evolutionary astrology. So again, looking at the book, you'll find out more about those. You can read this information here. Your North or your South Node is past lives and childhood experiences. Your North Node is your current life and the intentions that your soul has for growth. And so I have found this to be the truth in my experience as well. This would be kind of like maybe an area of life I've more mastered, but then the area I'm being challenged in is right here. And that's been very much my experience as well. So I hope that helps you guys. This was just a really brief look at how to set it up, how to interact with it. There are instructions in the back of the book that go through this, but I know it's just easier sometimes to see it on video. And I hope this helped you guys. Please stay tuned because we will be doing a lot more videos and doing some more tutorials as well as just some card readings, which obviously you can learn more about how to use cards from card readings as well. So I hope you enjoy that, and we'll talk to you guys again soon. Bye.
Introducing the Intuit Astro Persona Oracle, a deck unlike anything you've ever seen before. The Astro Persona Oracle is the ultimate in personality and astrology tools, and the perfect deck for bringing the people element into any reading. Use the Astro Persona to gain quick insights into what makes people tick, or to help you understand how someone might act in any given situation. This oracle is an absolute must-have for general, relationship, and career readings. The Astro Persona Oracle is made up of 132 cards with astrology-based suits of the Sun, Moon, and Rising, and planets from Mercury to Pluto. Each suit contains 12 cards that show how they are influenced within each house or zodiac sign. The artwork on each card depicts a person that represents the archetype of Sun, Moon, Rising, or planet within each house or zodiac sign placement, along with a list of descriptive keywords and phrases, plus additional insights or words of advice. You can use the Astro Persona alone, or use it with your other favorite oracle and tarot cards. Or you can go a bit deeper and create an in-depth personality profile for a specific person based on their date of birth. And you'll be amazed at how accurately these cards depict the person's traits and help you understand and relate to them better. What's more, you can add an additional layer of insight into your reading if you know the specific time and place of birth. With that information, you can pull 10 additional cards based on house placements, giving you an in-depth personality profile at a glance. Made of high-quality cardstock, the Astro Persona Oracle is designed to last and can be used by readers of all skill levels. If you are, however, interested in learning more about astrology, or if you are an advanced astrology reader, we've created the Intuit Astro Persona Expansion Pack with bonus cards specifically for you. The complete Astro Persona Expansion Pack is a perfect complement to our Oracle deck and a great way for beginners to learn or better understand astrology. This stunning Oracle will undoubtedly be the most unique and versatile deck in your collection. You can find the Intuit Astro Persona and other powerful Intuit Oracle and Tarot decks at theintuitstore.com.